The Denver Nuggets had one of the most exciting runs in franchise history this past season. The team finished with a regular season record of 46-27, good enough for third in the Western Conference, and through outstanding play from their star duo in Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, they were able to come back from not one, but two 3-1 deficits in this year's playoffs against the Utah Jazz and the favorite Clippers. And though they fell to the eventual champion Lakers in 5 games, the games were a lot closer than the scoreboard suggested, and the future is definitely bright in Denver with the emergence of Michael Porter Jr. and Bol during their time in the bubble. The Nuggets appear to be right at the doorstep of being a true championship contender, so what should this young and upcoming team do this season in order to cement themselves in the conversation? Taking a look at how the offseason has gone, I can't help but be somewhat worried about the team. Coming into free agency, the Nuggets wanted to re-sign Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, Paul Millsap, and Torrey Craig in order to keep their deep and solid core. However, as we all know, Denver was only able to re-sign Paul Millsap for a 1-year, $10 million deal. The team very much wanted to re-sign Jeremy Grant given his playoff performance, as well as his versatility on the wing and his ability to guard the 2-4 position. In addition, he's also developed into quite the three-point shooter, hitting 39% of his threes on the season. Unfortunately, they lost him to the Detroit Pistons of all teams, where he signed a 3-year, $60 million deal. As for Mason Plumlee, the team very much wanted to re-sign him for his rebounding and interior presence off the bench, but like Grant, they lost him to the Detroit Pistons, where he signed a 3-year, $25 million deal. Torrey Craig was a complementary piece to the Nuggets, serving as one of their better defenders on the roster due to his 6'7" frame and 7-foot wingspan, and despite some offensive deficiencies, Craig was a key defender that the Nuggets could plug and play into their starting lineup. However, despite being a restricted free agent this season, the Nuggets decided to let him go, letting him walk to the Milwaukee Bucks for just $1.7 million. With these losses, the Nuggets have also lost a lot of their wing depth and some defense in both the perimeter and interior. However, this doesn't mean that all is lost. In losing Grant and Craig, this opens up a lot of opportunity for PJ Dozier. And while the stats may not say it, during this season he was a very effective player off the bench when he got the opportunity and playing time. Standing at 6'6" and having a 6'11" wingspan, Dozier plays hard, he plays solid defense, he can pass the rock, and has the ability to hit the open 3-ball. He's also great at driving it in the lane for either a finish at the basket or a kick out to an open shooter. The Nuggets also signed JaMychal Green to a 2-year, $15 million contract, with the second year being a player option, and he'll provide the team with a reliable stretch 4 as well as some defense and depth in the front court. When looking at the rest of the free agent pool remaining, there aren't that many great options the Nuggets could add to their team. However, it's clear that they'll need more guys on the wing, especially the small forward position, so Kyle Korver is a potential signing for some shooting off the bench, but his lack of defense could be concerning. Glenn Robinson III is another guy who can give shooting off the bench, as he hit 39% of his threes on the season while not being a complete liability on defense. Damari Carroll and Ersan Ilyasova are other potential signings, though they are more suited for the power forward position. Now, looking at the Nuggets draft selections this year, they selected Zeke Naji and RJ Hampton with the 22nd and 24th pick respectively. Starting with Zeke, I believe that this is a great pick considering how they lost Plumlee. Standing at 6'11" and a 7'1" wingspan, he has the size to be a very solid player in this league. But in addition to this, he has proved that he can stretch the floor more than Plumlee could, hitting mid-range jumpers consistently during his time in college. Though three-point shooting is not in his repertoire quite yet, at just 19 years old, he has a lot of time to develop that, and his offensive game, considering that he's playing under the best center in the league in Nikola Jokic, should develop quite nicely. He'll definitely need to improve his defense to cement himself in the rotation, but with enough time, I think he'll be a very solid player. RJ Hampton was a very interesting pick, with Denver sacrificing a future first-round pick for him, but you can't blame them considering their success with Michael Porter Jr. and Bol. The fact of the matter is that he's a very raw player and a project. However, the physical tools and athleticism are there for sure. He'll need to improve all facets of his game, but if he does, the future of the Nuggets is extremely scary. I think that Hampton definitely has the work ethic to improve on his game, and considering that he was a top 10 prospect at one point a few months ago, and the fact that he dropped all the way to 24th, I think he'll definitely have a chip on his shoulder to prove all of the teams that passed on him wrong. Overall, if I were to sum up this offseason for Denver, I would say they went more towards the youth movement while staying extremely solid. The Nuggets are aiming to dominate the second half of the decade, considering their high potential core in Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr., and potentially Bol, Zeke, and RJ Hampton, though it seems they may have took a step sideways instead of forward this offseason by losing Grant, Plumlee, and Craig. I still expect the Nuggets to be one of the top teams in the league, only getting better as time progresses. Expect them to be a top 4 team in the Western Conference. However, with all that being said, let me know in the comments below how you think the Nuggets are going to do this season and how you think they're going to do in the future. How many championships do you think they're winning this decade? Thank you very much for watching again, and if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank you very much again for watching. I apologize for the long break, but we're back now. And with all that being said, I want you to remember this. Nikola Jokic is by far the best center in the league.